So I'm going to be looking at page 84 of American Born Chinese, which you can see here. This is part of the Monkey King story, one of the three storylines in the graphic novel. This page represents the Monkey King buried under a pile of rocks. It's a splash page, meaning that there's only one panel on the page. The rocks take up most of the panel, leaving the only character, the Monkey King, at the bottom of the panel, slightly to the right of center. The panel is a long shot with mountains of rocks in the foreground. And in the background, we can see some mountains. And above the mountains, there are these clouds that are drawn in the style which is reminiscent of Chinese art. The colors are unsaturated, but the lighting is high key. There's no dialogue on the page, but there are two small narrative boxes in the upper right-hand corner. So before this page, the Monkey King battles with the other gods in an attempt to convince them that he is not a monkey. The battle takes him to the edge of the universe, where he meets Se-Yoza, the creator of the universe, who tells him, "I intended you to be a monkey." The Monkey King challenges him to a fight, and at that moment, the bridge he is standing on collapses, and he is buried underneath the rocks that you see here on this page. So if we look at the narrative box contains his story told in the third person. The smaller of the two narrative boxes says, "The Monkey King stayed there for 300 years. So separating out this statement into the second box emphasizes the length of time that he was buried. It slows down the pace of the storytelling. This slow style, the language reflects the text type, which is fantasy and myth. The composition of the page places the monkey in at the bottom of the frame, and the pile of rocks, as I said before, takes up most of the panel. These rocks form a visual symbol. The symbol is the weight that the Monkey King has, and it symbolizes his pride, that his pride is weighing down on him and trapping him. Later on, he is only able to free himself from this pride, the mountain of rocks, by accepting to serve as a human. The Monkey King's journey from pride to acceptance is mirrored in Jin Wang's transformation into Danny, and then his reversion back to Jin. If this mountain of boulders that we see here symbolizes the Monkey King's pride and hubris, a similar thing could be said for Jin and then Danny's hairstyles. Jin's the hairstyle, Jin's especially, the swirls of which are reminiscent of these clouds, kind of brings us back to this image here, this symbolic image.